Hi, everyone. Welcome. Happy holidays and almost Happy New Year. Oh my gosh, 2018 is just around the corner. It's so great to be with you here today. I know your schedule is probably so busy, right? So many last minute things to do before Christmas. If you celebrate Hanukkah or other celebrations during this time of year, I'm sure it's been so busy for you too, but I hope fun. You know, we really need to make this time of year super fun, and it's just great to be here with you. If you're on with me, you know, send some hearts my way. Just celebrate, post comments, great time to ask questions. Just really excited to be here with you. I'll be posting some things as we go, so we can have a really great time. My name is Robin Nielsen, and I am here with Infolite Health. And, you know, it's really important to me that, you know, we empower women with PCOS to take charge of their health. That's the most important thing, because we have all the power to heal ourselves. And sometimes it takes us years to figure that out. And sometimes we figure it out pretty quickly, and then we're able to heal a whole lot faster. So I'm excited to continue to help to educate you as to how you can do that for yourself, how you can take charge. So it's great to be here with you today. And today I'm going to share my detox secrets. So if you're like me, you've probably been indulging a little bit extra during this holiday season, and that can definitely wreak havoc on our hormones. Maybe we don't sleep quite as well. Our cravings get worse. It's already a little bit tricky this time of year because the days are so much shorter. And sometimes those of us who are affected by less light, our moods get lower, and so then we crave more. And then those cravings can really end up making our hormones kind of go sideways, and then we feel worse, and the symptoms of PCOS and hormone imbalance come back with a vengeance. And that's what I don't want for you. So this is a great time of year to talk about detox, cleansing in a really safe, gentle way, because it can help to get us back so quickly in a really short period of time. So I'm excited to share all about really toxins and detoxing, how toxins affect our bodies, what the hormone deal breakers are, because those are huge, and how in just a short period of time you can sort of turn things around. So let's get started. So let's see. Again, post your questions. Excited to answer for you. And you know, one of the things that I really like to help my clients with in the new year is, and you included, is really mapping out what you want for the new year as far as your health goes. Like a lot of times we have New Year's resolutions, but they don't involve our health. So this year, that's right now, I want you to think about your health for a minute. And what are three things, just three things that you'd like for yourself over this next year to improve with your health? So you can write them down. What are three things that you really want for yourself for this next year? You know, maybe it's you want your facial hair to go away. Maybe you want your skin to clear up. You don't want to have acne anymore. That was sure the case for me. Maybe you want to lose some weight. That is a biggie. It's probably the number one New Year's resolution every year is weight loss. And that's okay. That's perfect. That can be for you too. So maybe it's weight loss. Maybe it's having a regular menstrual cycle. Maybe it's having energy. Maybe it's getting rid of the hot flashes and the night sweats. What are your health goals for 2018? And if you don't mind, would you share one in the comment box below? Just share one. And then I can share that with others. So just share one of your health goals for 2018. All right. So, you know, I didn't always feel well, right? Gosh, today I have a lot of good energy. I have great mental clarity. My skin is is beautiful. My weight is in a really good place. Not that I don't have to work at it, I definitely do, but you know, I feel really, really well most of the time. And there were a lot of years when I didn't feel well. From my teenage years all the way into my very early 40s, I felt pretty unwell. Um, you know, I could gain weight for no good reason. I could gain 5 pounds in a day, and I'm a pretty small person. I had acne on my face, on my chest, and on my back, and oh my gosh, I was kind of a social hermit. I was so embarrassed most of the time. And, you know, I wore clothes with the neck up to here, you know, both front and back. And, you know, I wore a lot of makeup. I tried to, you know, learn how to cover up my acne. And I just felt inflamed. I felt hot. I felt a little bit bloated. I had arthritic symptoms in my hands in my 20s, and I had weird things too, like I had very sensitive teeth and kind of receding gums. I had kind of bloating and pain in my abdomen, so sometimes I just have to unbutton my pants to feel a little bit better. Yeah, I had this like constant brain fog. It was so hard for me to study. I remember in high school and college, I'm so glad that that I was kind of bright. I don't know if I'm super bright, but I was bright enough to get by without a lot of studying, because the studying I would have to read paragraphs over and over and over. And that was really hard. I think it just got worse as I got older. It didn't get better. And there was really nothing, like we couldn't Google on things, you know, when I was a teenager or when I was in my early 20s. So, you know, I couldn't easily look things up. So I didn't know that there were natural ways to heal from acne. I just, you know, had to live with it. You know, there were things that you could try, but certainly nothing that lasted very long. And then, you know, and then after a while, my energy just completely tanked and I just hit rock bottom. And, you know, I kind of had a little bit of a crisis. I was exhausted. I didn't feel like I was doing a good job at anything. I just didn't have that stress resilience. The least little thing really bothered me. And, you know, I was, oh my gosh, you know, most of my young life I was constipated. And that was a horrible feeling, and just not knowing how to overcome that. So many challenges, you know, that I learned later can be resolved naturally, you know, so easily. And just having a regular menstrual cycle can be resolved naturally. So many of these things that happen to us with PCOS is because we don't have the raw materials that we need for our body to function properly. And so, you know, it's really easy actually, once you start to give your body what it needs, it's really easy to feel so much better. So I hope to share some of that with you today. So I want to talk a little bit about what the hormone deal breakers are, and then focus on toxins, because, you know, they're what really sabotage our health. And you know, this time of the year we're sort of inundated with poor food choices. And it's easy to say yes. And we don't get quite as much sleep as we need. So we're always kind of a little bit tired. And the weather, you know, the weather's changing. It's cold outside in a lot of places, unless you're in Australia, right, where it's really warm. But the change in weather really affects us. The shorter days really affects us. And all the added stress this time of year. It's a big deal. And it really takes a toll on our brain chemistry, right? Our moods are a lot lower, and it really takes a toll on our bodies. We just tend to pack on the weight a lot easier. We're just not as happy. Our energy is a little bit lower. So just want to talk about detox today and show you how in just a short period of time you can really, you know, up your game with detox. So thank you to those who shared. So yay, Kristen. Resolution is consistency. I love that. Stay on and not on and off and back on and off. Yeah, I totally get that. Thank you, Kristen, for sharing that. I love your picture. I love your sexy hair. So pretty. And Peggy, thanks, Peggy. So face hair for sure, and plus weight loss. So awesome. I love it. So if you have your goals, then you can work towards your goals, right? And that's what makes it so empowering when you sort of map out what your goals are for the year and what your health map is. Great. Thank you both for sharing. Really appreciate that. All right. So the hormone deal breakers that really affect most of us, and me for sure, are things like digestive problems. So it's a little bit of a chicken and the egg thing, because sometimes if we are adrenally exhausted, we have more digestive problems, or if our thyroid is not functioning properly, we have more digestive problems. Digestive problems, huge hormone deal breaker, right? It's going to really make our hormones go sideways. Toxins, okay? Toxins from foods that we eat. We'll talk more about that in a minute. From the environment, from people, toxic people that we surround ourselves with, toxic thoughts. You know, can you relate to some of these? And then insulin resistance. You know, we're not getting that sugar from our bloodstream into our cells very effectively. So as a result, we end up storing it as fat around our middle. And as we age, we naturally become more insulin resistant. So it's just paying attention to that, understanding that, and then adjusting as necessary. And then poor sleep, right? That's a huge hormone deal breaker. Compromised liver function. I'm going to talk more about that in just a minute. Any underlying infections. So, you know, a lot of us have these underlying chronic infections, bacterial, viral. It's hard to pinpoint them a lot of times, but you know, many of us have them, and it's just really the strength of our immune system as to whether we can overcome them or not. And that's something that a great detox program can help with, is strengthening that immune system. And nutrient deficiencies, you know, just not having the nutrients that your body needs to function properly. The food that you eat. So I know, oh my gosh, we went to a holiday party the other night, and I had some toffee. It was like, oh, you know, it was delicious going down, but later I kind of had, you know, like dry sugar mouth. So it was, you know, we just have to give ourselves a little grace around this time of year and enjoy a little bit, but just know that, you know, the detox time is coming when you can just let that all go. And then, you know, low thyroid function, poor adrenal function, all of that. Those are all hormone deal breakers. So there's quite a big list, but those are the main ones. Can you relate to any of those? Do any of those resonate with you? You can kind of think of off the top of your head. So one of the things that women with PCOS and hormone imbalance deal with is really, we have a lot of times too many toxins. So we have something called toxin overload. So there's something called a toxic load, and that's basically the toxic load is basically the amount of toxins that you have in your body that your system has to metabolize. That's your toxic load. And when we start to feel out of balance or out of whack, it's because our toxic load is getting too big for our body to handle. And that's because toxins come from so many different places. And for some reason, women with PCOS and hormone imbalance tend to just be on toxic overload. So studies show that if you have PCOS or you have constant symptoms of hormone imbalance, most of the time it's because there's too many toxins in your body and your body to be able to metabolize well. So that's where your lovely liver, right, comes into play, because your liver is what metabolizes everything that comes into your body. Toxins enter our bodies through our mouth, through our skin, and through our lungs. And so I'll talk about how that, you know, really affects our hormones. And when you do your blood work, you want to make sure that your doctor runs your liver enzymes, which are AST and ALT. And you really want your ALT to be 19 or below. So if you have any blood work hanging around, you can take a look at that. You know, you want your blood work to be within the last few months so that it's relevant. But if your, liver enzymes get too high, so, above the 20s, and for women, really above 20, you start to get what's called fatty liver, which is where the liver cells start dying, and it's called cirrhosis of the liver, and it can be irreversible. So the liver is pretty cool because it can regenerate, but it can also cause scarring, and so as a result, that scarring is permanent. And so you want to do everything you can to keep those liver enzymes low, really important, because you'll feel so much better, right? So that means supporting your liver function. That means really limiting the toxins that come into contact with your body, and I'll share what some of those are. Because toxins can be the very reason our hormones and brain chemistry are out of balance, because they confuse the signaling that goes on with and between our cells. Because hormones are our cellular communicators. Hormones communicate, it's your communication system. That's what hormones are. Isn't that crazy? Never thought about it that way, huh? So your hormones are your cellular communicators. And they can be disrupted by things called obesogens. Those are toxins that actually make us fat. Isn't that crazy? And there's things like synthetic chemicals that really just make us fat. They act like our own hormones, but they're much more potent and much more toxic. And then there are things like pesticides and herbicides, not only on our food, but in the environment, and genetically modified foods that really wreak havoc with our digestion and our gut. And so yeah, toxins are crazy bad for us, and we've got to always pay attention to that. I mean, it can be as simple as just getting the toxins out of your life, and all of a sudden your weight starts to drop off. You start to feel so much better. You can think more clearly. That's kind of where I always go, and I get brain fog again, or I start putting on weight. I'm thinking, okay, what is it that I'm doing that's causing this toxic overload for me? So body care products are one of the worst places, right? Because the skin is the body's largest organ, and it absorbs whatever it comes into contact with. And a lot of synthetic chemicals are skin irritants, they're skin penetrators, they're endocrine or hormone disruptors, and they're carcinogenic, which means that they cause cancer. And one thing that's really interesting is our body has cancer cells in it all the time. And it's when our immune system is depressed or suppressed that it can't fight off those cancer cells, and then that's when they start to proliferate and grow and become a real problem. So that's why, a detox is so important to keep things flowing well, to help you metabolize your toxins better, to really build up your immune system. It's amazing how a short detox program can build up your immune system and really heal your digestion and help you release a bunch of weight. It's crazy amazing just by helping your body to metabolize toxins better. And food, 70% of conventionally grown produce contains pesticide residue when it's tested, and you cannot even wash that off. It penetrates the fruits and vegetables. The USDA found a total of 178 different pesticides and pesticide breakdown products on thousands of produce samples that it analyzed. So it's a really big deal. It's a really big deal. And then there are household cleaning products. Oh my gosh, they're some of the worst toxins ever. They cause even mood disorders. And they're just found in our common household cleaning products. So, in a good detox program, you'll learn what they are and how to get rid of them and what to replace them with. So, but just take a look at your household cleaning products. They can really cause problems. They just really can they really can just cause so many symptoms of PCOS. You know, you think that you have everything under control and you're feeling a lot better, and then all of a sudden you have a huge setback, and that's one of the reasons why. And so when Peggy was mentioning facial hair and weight loss, you know, so facial hair happens because, well, for a few reasons. So you tend to metabolize your androgens or male hormones, testosterone, down what's called DHT pathway, which is a much more potent androgenic pathway. And that causes things like facial hair, acne, hair loss. Those are the big DHT pathway symptoms. But that's caused by insulin that's too high, which could be caused by stress that's too high, which is ultimately caused by too much inflammation, right? So inflammation, of course, can easily be caused by too many toxins, right, that your body can't metabolize quickly enough. So there are a lot of reasons that, that we can grow facial hair, for example. I noticed that when I have really low inflammation, I don't grow dark nipple hairs, right? They just go away completely. And then when my inflammation comes back, I start growing a few dark nipple hairs. It's the same thing as facial hair. It comes from that same DHT pathway. And additionally, some of us are just really, really sensitive genetically to that DHT pathway. It's called the 5-alpha reductase enzyme pathway. And that's just a more potent androgenic pathway. And we can be really sensitive to that just by little changes in our hormones, little changes in what we eat, little changes in our toxin overload, all sorts of things. And then that can cause those things like facial hair, nipple hairs, right, acne, all of that. If you have any questions, please post them. I would love to get to them. So hundreds of cleaners, even a lot of cleaners that are hyped as green or natural, they can inflict serious harm on users, like cancer. Reproductive toxicity is huge. It can affect the fetus. They're asthmagens, right? They can cause breathing problems, hormone disruption, neurotoxicity, impaired reproduction, so many other things. And it's awful, right? It's tragic, really. So you want to be aware, because cleaners labeled safe, non-toxic, and green, they can contain really hazardous ingredients. We store toxins in our fat tissue. So, you know, when you do start to release fat, you want to make sure that you're doing a detox in a really safe way, because you can feel pretty horrible. You know, if you don't have the liver support you need, the liver support and digestive support, right? You need your bile working really well. You need liver phase 1 and phase 2 of your liver detox to be working really well. You need ample fiber. You need good digestion to remove the toxins. So there are a number of steps that need to happen to successfully metabolize and get rid of toxins. Toxins in your mind, that's a whole different matter, right? That's something that just takes some practice and some work. But I noticed that based on what I eat, how I sleep, the nutrients I take, my mind can go to pretty bad places sometimes if I'm not staying on track. So it's funny how, you know, we blame ourselves for some of the toxic thoughts that we have in our minds, but in reality, it has so much to do with how you're taking care of yourself. And you know, also just learning how to change those thoughts around if you're starting to go down that pathway, right? Because toxic thoughts are, you know, just as bad as taking in toxins from the environment. And oh my gosh, our environment has a gazillion times more toxins now than it used to 100 years ago. Our toxins in the environment are just huge. So it's a constant battle, really, to stay on top of helping your body remove toxins so that you can feel well. And when you do that, you reduce inflammation in a really big way, and that's what helps you to stop going down that more potent DHT pathway. That's what helps you to raise progesterone, which is what we need to feel happy and balanced, have a regular menstrual cycle, reduce anxiety, all of that. Because when we have toxin overload, we make less progesterone and we make more male hormones as a result. And so you have an estrogen, progesterone, testosterone imbalance. You have an imbalance of your sex hormones because you're too busy making cortisol and insulin, which keeps you in this really inflamed state. Does that make sense? I'm sharing a lot of kind of technical information, so I don't want to overwhelm you. So one way to, really support your body in a profound way in a really short period of time is to do a really healthy detox or cleanse program. And it's a little early in the season, I realize, because we still have some holidays left to celebrate, for sure. But I wanted to get to you before the first of the year because I wanted you to start planning on how you're going to support yourself in the new year. And a really great way to give yourself sort of a jump start is with our New Year's Cleanse program. So it's a detox program that starts coming up pretty soon here on January 10th. And it's a great way to start the new year and feel better pretty fast. And then I teach you how to keep it going after just 14 days. And oh, great. Hi, Mandy. Great to see you here. That's awesome. So, Mandy, we're just talking about the New Year's Detox program that's coming up. Just wanted to sort of just kind of put a bug in your ear and, just mention how important it is at the first of the year to, have a health map and really plan out how you're going to reach your health goals for this year. And I always say, if not now, when? I know that sometimes it takes me a long time to just say, that's enough. I'm tired of this health problem and I want to change it. And as a result, I make something happen, right? And so we have to get kind of sick and tired enough to just be done with feeling terrible and make some pretty profound change. And a detox program is a super cool way to do it because it's so short. And it's so simple, and the side effects are pretty minimal. It's a very safe way to go to heal. I think, Mandy, I know that you've done the detox program before, and and so it's it's a super healthy way to do it. And when you sign up by the 31st of this month, you actually get a huge discount. So we're really trying to. Let me post the link here. We're really trying to help you be proactive with the cleanse program. And let me see if I can I'm going to put a comment here too, so you can just click on the link. So hopefully you can see that, it'll come up. Let's see, yeah. We're trying to get you to really be proactive and sign up before the end of the year so that you have a plan for this coming year. And it's just a 14-day detox program. And what we put together, our team decided that you needed a bonus. Because a lot of times when you sign up for something, you want to get started right away. You don't want to wait for the first day. So we actually put together a pre-detox checklist so you can get started on a few things right away. I'm sure you're going to want to wait till after Christmas. But then you can start, implementing some of the things so that when we start the cleanse, I'll have like a track 1 and a track 2, and you can do the fast track if you want. So you can see some really big results. And oh my gosh, you will lose weight. Everyone who needs to loses weight because you're decreasing inflammation in such a big way. And that's really like the #1 reason most people do a detox is to lose weight, but it'll help you heal your digestion. It'll help you discover what foods that you might be intolerant to, which I think is like the coolest thing ever. Because when you start reintroducing the foods, you can tell which foods don't work for you and which ones do. And you'll just feel lighter. You'll have more mental clarity. You will sleep better. There are all these cool things that we do. And then we're also giving away some other special gifts. So you'll get the shopper's guide to pesticides in your produce. You can just actually print it out and cut it. They're little wallet-sized cards. so that you can make sure that with the dirty dozen, you only buy those organically or just don't buy them because they have so many toxins in them. And then you'll also get the top 10 worst beauty care ingredients that you have to avoid. You'll be so surprised, even at natural food markets, Whole Foods, places like that. When you read the ingredients, you're just shocked at what's in there. So I've really gone to making a lot of my own skincare products, just so that I know exactly what's in there and there are no gross preservatives and toxins and things like that, because you get to a point where you just don't want to feel bad anymore, you know? And so you get those 3 really cool bonuses when you sign up, and then you start on January 10th, and you don't have to be live on the program. You can actually watch and listen in whenever you have time, and then so start on your own. And then we have our own private Facebook group for expert support all the time so that you're successful and you can really get a jump start on your health this year. So, so what questions do you have? Do you have any questions for me? I just want to make sure that I answer any questions you have. All right. So it's really great to be here with you today. And when you get a chance, you know, go check out the program, see if it's something that would really give you sort of a jump start for this new year. And I hope to see you there. I hope to see you in our detox program so we can really kickstart the new year in a really great way. Empower each other to take charge of our PCOS. All right, everyone, wishing you a fabulous rest of your holiday season and a really great start to the new year. Bye.